Hi everyone, today I'm going to share with you a great technique to make money trading that's been around for a very long time, and it's called channeling stocks. I'm going to define channeling stocks for you. I'm going to show you some great tips for how to make more money channeling stocks and how to find better stocks to channel. Channeling stocks has been around for a long time. People have written to me by email and told me that they've been channeling stocks for more than 20, 30 years. It's been out there for a very long time. And to this day, it's still an effective strategy to use when trading. Now, the problem is that there's very few stocks out there that are in a consistent enough channel where you can make money using this technique. To begin with, I'm going to explain what a channel is. But before I do that, I want to let you know I'm Brian Neal, founder of Tradetobefree.com. For those who don't subscribe to my newsletter yet or have viewed my site, I've been trading for about 10, 15 years. Actually, to be exact, I've been trading for 14 years, and I've been the founder of Tradetobefree.com and InvestBeFree.com now for over 10 years. First of all, I want to define what a channeling stock is. And basically, it's a stock that moves between a support and resistance over time. Generally, it's thought of as a horizontal channel. So when most people think of a channeling stock, they think of a stock that might be bouncing in between two price points, let's say $10 and $12. What happens is that as the stock moves from $10 to $12, it finds resistance at $12, comes down to $10, finds support there, and turns around and goes back up to $12. And it does this over a number of months or years. Now, very few stocks do this consistently enough to make money off that pattern. Okay, but there are a few that do, and maybe just a few percent of the overall stock universe. But when you go look at good trading setups and stock charts and trading opportunities, you want to be on the lookout for this pattern because it does come up from time to time, and when you do find it, it's very, very profitable in many cases. Now, in my example here on the site, I'm showing you the type of channeling stock that I like to find for customers and for my own trading, and that is a channeling stock that has an upward slope. So if you notice in this example here, this is IPHI, featured back in, back in 2015. I believe we featured it to subscribers here in July. Yeah, I think it was July of 2015. I put the lines on the chart to show the channel in more detail for you. And you can see on this chart that the stock has these lows, these higher lows and higher highs over time. But if you draw a line connecting the lows and the trend, you find that it continues that same slope. And that uptrend support, as we call it, which is a line connecting the lows, offers a pretty firm support over time. Now, this needs to be tested. A lot of people think that if you test a support level once or twice, that's good enough. But for a channeling stock, you want to see at least 3 or more tests to show that it's a firm support. So in this case, it looks like we've tested the support, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times at this point. 5 or more is better, but at least 3. So don't just start drawing lines connecting 2 points on a chart, because you can do that with pretty much any stock. So you want to see at least 3 tests of that uptrend support, okay? Preferably a longer uptrend with more tests than that. So that's the first tip. Find channeling stocks that have the upward slope. The second tip I want to share with you is find stocks that have the fundamentals, the improving fundamentals to support the upward slope of the chart. Okay, so as the stock makes higher highs and higher lows, you want to see the earnings estimates rising. You want to see the stock beating those estimates, or you want to see a very strong growth rate in the sales and earnings, along with other key fundamental factors that we talk more about in the newsletter and on the site and in our book. But you want to find the right stocks that can support this trend, and you don't want to see the trend too steep. A lot of times a stock will go into an uptrend that's very steep for a few weeks to a few months, but that won't last simply because the stock can't continue that growth rate in the sales and earnings at that pace to support the higher price. Or there's just not enough money flowing into the stock or into that industry to support that growth rate of the price on the chart. Now, if you find a channel that has a shallower slope in the support, as this does, that's a better situation you want to look for, better setup you want to look for. So, in this case, you have a stock that's bouncing in between this support and the resistance in the channel, okay? And we can see, for instance, here, back in April, the stock moved from $18 to $27 2 months later 2 or 3 months later in late June. Okay, so that's a 50% price move within 2-3 months. So these can be very profitable. It's not a bull flag pattern. It's not a flat base. It's not a double bottom pattern. There's other bullish chart patterns to look for, and they can be very profitable, but these can be very profitable too. So you want to definitely keep an eye out for upward sloping stock channels with fundamentals that are rapidly improving. The entry point for us is one of two two situations. Normally it's a breaking of the downtrend resistance. So right here we can see that if you connect the highs in February, early March, and late March, you can see that that's defining the slope of this downtrend back to the support. So once the price closes above that line that you can draw on the chart here, that would be the entry point, and then you put a stop below the prior low, and that's a good place to put your initial stop. You know, oftentimes we don't use a stop loss because the stocks that we feature and we trade in our own accounts in a low volatility environment tend to bounce back before the end of the day if they do fall below the uptrend support or horizontal support. So in many cases we decide to forego the stop loss, but you may want to put a stop loss below the prior low or just below the uptrend support in the channel. So if you had done that, things would have worked out very well, and this price would have gone from 19 to 27. So you don't want to get it, you don't want to buy the stock right off the channel support. Okay, that's a mistake that some traders make, because that uptrend support still could be violated the next time it's tested. You want to look for signs that the price is reversing course and starting to head higher. I would say, you know, wait for that downtrend resistance to be broken, or, you know, maybe wait for a higher low or a low that's around the same as a prior low, and then a bullish candlestick pattern off that uptrend support. That's another good entry point. A horizontal resistance, you know, above that uptrend support, that could be another good entry. You know, you could put a buy stop just above the resistance in this consolidation right here. That would have been a good entry, and then put the stop below the prior low or below the uptrend support. You know, there's different ways of doing that. So another technique you can use too, if you miss the initial entry point after the short-term downtrend's been broken, you wait for the next pullback and you look for a bullish candlestick pattern. Like here you had the bullish hammer candle, and then you had the gap up. That could have been an entry point, and that would have worked out really well in this case. Not in all cases, but in this case it really did. And you want to just follow the trade each day. If you don't put a stop loss in, you want to check the stock each day and see if it closed below that uptrend support, because that to us is a point where we get out of the trade. You don't want to have it go below that on you. Okay, so that's channeling stocks and a better way of doing channeling stocks, and we do find a lot of these on our site and our newsletter throughout the year. So if you haven't signed up for the free trial yet, go ahead and do that. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get notifications of our latest instructional videos like this. Comment on our videos if you like our videos, and we'll be creating more of these for you as the months go on here. So again, I'm Brian Neal. Thanks for listening. Go over to our site, learn more about channeling stocks, check out our book, and check out our newsletter. Have a great day.